Hello. On today's episode of the Comics Panel, we're going to be talking about who is Steppenwolf.
Well,
Who is Steppenwolf?
Well, who is Steppenwolf? Other than that
cool
rock
band.
Yeah, that cool
Yeah.
band. If anybody knows,
Well, most people know who Steppenwolf the band is. I would hope.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steppenwolf is one of the new gods created by Jack Kirby way back when, and he's going to be featured in the new Justice League movie, which I just found out right now.
I was going to ask you why we were talking about him.
I just found out, and I was a little surprised when I was told. But after we talked about it a little bit, we realized that was a pretty decent character to introduce, if you're going to introduce the new gods, to get to Darkseid so the Justice League can fight Darkseid, which is what everybody's waiting for.
And by the way, if you want to know a little bit more about Steppenwolf, we'll actually have a little clip about Steppenwolf. So,
Nothing.
Yeah, actually I did. It makes sense that he's going to be a transitional
figure.
He's
he's the military commander
of the
of
armies.
Darkseid.
Right. He'll be the precursor in the movie to Darkseid coming in.
He incites the war between Apocalypse and New Genesis.
How?
He murders Hegra, Darkseid's mother. So that's what separates, that causes the Civil War and causes, New Genesis and Apocalypse.
You know what? Of course, these are not updated, but I think they did something else recently, like when Jeff Johns was taking over and doing stuff. Something of the nature where...
The worlds began during the pitched battle, the planet, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he basically kicks off the war.
Well, he's a strong general, but still, if we're talking again, let's bring Darkseid. If Superman's going to be in Justice League, he could rip him a new one. So,
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
But, I mean,
heck, Wonder Woman could probably rip him a new one.
He's a transitional character.
Right, but
It's what he does that causes...
grifts, but he's coming to the Earth. This has nothing to do with Darkseid's mom.
What they do in the movies is completely different than
Yeah,
what
this
they
is
do
true.
in the comics.
He could probably kill somebody on
But
Paradise
the
Island.
point is, he's a transitional figure. The thing that he does causes the big shit to happen.
But it doesn't happen on
It's
Earth.
like Ferdinand getting killed.
Okay.
Causes World War I, World War II, the emergence
Causation.
of the Empire of the United States. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that stuff. It's that one thing that
the catalyst.
happens.
He's the
The
catalyst.
So, if they're going to use him as a catalyst like he was in this,
Well, he's also appearing in... They cut him out of the Batman Superman. They cut his scenes out. So, we don't know what's going to be happening, but we know that the mother boxes that are in Atlantis, Paradise Island, and the one that's in the hand of Cyborg's dad, he's coming for them. They shouldn't be there because he wants them. So, the idea is... compared to Caliban, the female Furies,
but
goodness.
also Darkseid may not know that those heroes exist on this planet. He might only be thinking it's just us.
Well,
So why should I send Caliban? Just send this guy. He can kick any human's ass.
Right, and again,
And then
Steppenwolf says,
like
I
you
need
said,
help.
You got Wonder Woman, and she's
She
It
can
has
provide
to
a
be
goddess in
that
herself.
transitional
Okay,
And Superman.
thing.
we're
So
good to go.
It kind of does
Let's
make
rock
sense. Anyway,
Enough said.
I knew we were being recorded. I'm Batman.
he was a military commander. He's actually Darkseid's uncle, and he was the guy that kind of started the war between Apocalypse and New Genesis, and Darkseid and Highfather.
Hi, Father.
It was his actions that caused the big rift and the big war, which led to the two planets being complete opposites and going to war against each other and rolling into everything that is the new gods and then gets mixed up with the heroes of Earth.
So, what are your thoughts about Steppenwolf? Why him for the movie?
Me
what are your
personally,
thoughts about it?
let's just talk if Steppenwolf fails. he can't go, Darkseid, help me. Darkseid will go like, you're done. If he sent his son Calabac in or Desaad,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
were thinking
important
Desaad or
people.
Calabac, actually.
You
to
know,
For a
be-
better villain for, the Justice
well,
League.
to be
Oh,
a transition into Darkseid.
yes. Because, I mean, if Steppenwolf,
Or the Furies.
if Superman comes back to life, which we think without spoiling, he will be coming back, Steppenwolf doesn't stand a chance
No.
against him. Superman will just, wipe his nose clean with him.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman could probably kick his
Yeah.
butt.
Calabac would actually be a tougher
Opponent.
opponent physically.
Yes.
And would be able to do a lot more damage to any heroes. I mean,
Unless they're going to give Steppenwolf some higher intelligence.
well, they could do that, but I think
That he's
that
a great
he's
general.
just going to be, like you were saying, the catalyst character that causes everything to happen in the New Gods worlds that mixes into the Earth heroes, and then we get the confrontation with the Justice League.
So who are the new gods then?
Well,
for the people that don't
which
know.
ones? Well, let's just.
Well, there's a
bef-
whole-
like-
before we go with Steppenwolf, think about it. He's probably going to bring a ton of parademons with him.
Oh yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
probably
Well,
going to be
yeah,
one
he's
thing
the
to
general,
help.
so he's going to have a whole lot of guys coming with him
And that could give him an edge
to
that he didn't have.
claim the mother boxes back that are
What other mother
stuck
boxes?
here on Earth.
Mother boxes are devices that, from the comic books, have been created, if I'm not mistaken, on New Genesis, and they give the ability to teleport. And
They
Jeff
open
Johns,
up boom tubes.
you can do other things with them
Yeah,
too.
they've
They've
can
toyed
do,
with it.
Yeah, they can do all kinds of stuff. Actually,
So-
kind of almost anything you want them to do. They can generate energy. They can teleport. They can do calculations.
Yep.
They can enhance your armor or your abilities.
So they're
things
looking
like
to
that.
put this in the new Justice League movie?
Well,
From what I
actually,
understand?
that's
And are
where
they going to spin off into other things?
Superman, Batman. That's how Cyborg got his powers, because there was a mother box there. From what I've read so far on the internet, and it has to be true because it's on the internet.
Oh yeah, everything
Indeed,
that's
yeah.
on the internet is true.
So they said there's a box on Paradise Island and there's a box in Atlantis. So we're going to see Ocean Master,
Yeah.
and we're going to see
Very
Ares.
cool. Very
And that's where the boxes are, and that's why Steppenwolf is coming for them. So so technically we have three big villains. When you
Big
have
build
Ares,
up to the Justice League Darkseid movie then.
Right.
Eventually, if they do that.
so but still, I mean, to me, because I love Darkseid so much, and I love to see Superman fight Darkseid, which I've said before. Those are great battles, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why I can't wait to see Darkseid. I want him now.
But you're just gonna have to wait.
We're gonna have to wait. But the thing is it a bad thing to bring Steppenwolf now versus Granny Goodness versus the Furies that she trains? A lot of these characters they could be bringing in instead of just Parademons and Steppenwolf.
Well, yeah, actually, more popular and more well-known characters from the New Gods universe as opposed to Steppenwolf. But I was thinking if Darkseid doesn't know that there are powerful beings here on Earth, he's not going to send Calabac or
Right.
whoever. He's going to send somebody
expendable.
somebody expendable, but at the same
Cannon
time,
fodder.
who he can trust because he doesn't expect a lot of resistance.
True.
So they have to send somebody who gets their butt kicked, like you said, and then calls back, and Darkseid says, well, "What's going on? I sent you on an easy mission, and you screwed it up."
Do you think this is a good gamble for DC bringing this character into the movie, or would you have liked to see them kind of skip a little bit more and go more
Skip.
to a dark side?
I think it depends how they do it.
I'll pay either way to see it,
Yeah.
so I'm going to
Yeah.
go.
I think it's a really good transition to the bigger story, the bigger bad. But I mean, it doesn't matter how they do it as long as it's a good story.
And
Really, doesn't
if-
matter what
yeah.
character they use as long as they do it well.
And like with Wonder Woman and, and Aquaman with Ocean Master, they tie it in like Marvel did with the Avengers, building up to the first Avengers movie. It might give them a added push and additional storyline and supplemental stuff to lead up to it.
Yeah,
So-
even a glimpse of something that is going to be coming up, or a certain character or something like that, is enough to whet everybody's appetite to get everybody talking about it
Exactly.
and say, "Oh man, this is going to be so cool."
What's going to happen in the Wonder Woman movie, from what I read so far, of course she's going to win. She's Wonder Woman, but she defeats Ares so bad that he is so weakened because he needs war to get strength to build up stuff. He is so weakened that he can't wait to get in on this battle because he needs to build up his strength. So he's going to be probably making deals with Steppenwolf and stuff of that nature, Ocean Master. So that's going to be interesting. But to explain before, when you said who are the new gods, Jack Kirby, when he left Marvel Comics and he went to DC, he created the new gods. He created the High Father and Allfather.
Oh, no, I guess it is
It's
Highfather.
Highfather.
Yeah,
Allfather is Marvel.
Yeah.
Highfather, and then he created Darkseid. They were always at war with each other, and in order to get peace, they exchanged sons. And Darkseid's son was Orion, and the Highfather's son was he's Mr. Miracle. What's Mr. Miracle's name?
Yeah. It's not.
He becomes Mr.
Scott
Miracle.
Free.
Scott Free,
Yeah.
but he's Mr. Miracle. They exchange sons, and they have to each raise them, and it's kind of thing. If you screw up, we'll kill your boy. And Highfather, with his goodness and everything, actually tamed Orion's beastly nature.
Okay.
And Mr. Miracle could not be tamed, and he got out of Apocalypse. So in the deal, Darkseid lost. So
More or less. Yeah.
And I mean, there's a whole bunch of other characters
There's
too.
all kinds of other stuff
Forever
going
people.
on. There's, I mean, New Genesis and Apocalypse are completely
Yep.
opposite worlds. New Genesis is a beautiful place where people,
Heaven.
yeah, more or less heaven. There's not a whole lot of violence going on, things like that. Everybody's happy. And Apocalypse is the exact opposite.
Hell.
Only the strong survive. You know,
Fire
that kind of
pits.
stuff. Yeah, I mean,
And a
it's-
dictator.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah, a complete dictator type of
Jack
thing.
Kirby made Darkseid out of Hitler, like his personification,
his
if you will.
idea of perfection
Yep.
type of thing. So that's what the new gods are, and then the point is that those new gods end up eventually coming to Earth and interacting with Earth's superheroes,
Yep.
and the Legion of Superheroes, and,
Yep.
and everybody out throughout the DC universe. But
It's a quick synopsis.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
it's
You
pretty
learn a
quick,
little
yeah.
bit of the cosmic god-like world of Jack Kirby's The New God. So if you see these characters introduced in the upcoming movies, you have a little bit of background information on them.
so now you know who Steppenwolf is,
Yep.
So-
and he's born to be wild.
Born to be very wild. So did we nail it?
I think so.
Okay. If you get tired of the same old story, please turn some comic book pages and leave any comments in the box below.
Remember, like us on Facebook,
And sign up on our YouTube channel.
and also send us your ideas. If you'd like to know a little bit more about something or have an idea you want us to discuss, please let us know
Please
in the
let us
comments
know.
below. Thank you.
Thank you.